Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I just listened to the audio drama The Watcher in the Rain by Alec Worley, and it's absolutely horrifying. I had already heard a lot of good things about this drama, but it was so much better than I expected. The Watcher in the Rain initially starts off as a Lovecraftian horror tale. Otherworldly creatures that lurk in the storm, voices whispering in the dark, and nightmares that drive even the best of man beyond insanity. This part already was decently written, and I was about to write this off as a decent Lovecraft short, but then set in 40k. Then however, the second part of the story happened. A huge plot twist happens, and the story is completely flipped on its head. I won't say what it is, as it would really ruin the story for you, but this second part is so much more unique and horrifying than the first. The story also has a lot of replayability, as the first half all of a sudden becomes a lot darker once you know the ending. There are so many subtle hints that point towards the final reveal, slight mannerisms or peculiarities that you don't pick up during your first listen. But it's not just that, it's also the absolutely horrifying implication that certain observations obtain all of a sudden. Lines that you initially gloss over and consider somewhat inconsequential become insanely foreboding on your second listen. Outside of how well it's been constructed, I furthermore highly appreciate how unique and how clever this story is. The Watcher in the Rain doesn't just take classical horror tropes and port them into Warhammer, but instead it takes the highly convoluted and chaotic administration of the Imperium and turns it into a very potent horror element. It may sound a bit weird, but this bureaucratic horror is actually terrifying. In 40k, one wrong pen stroke, one misspelled name, or one forgotten piece of paper can consign thousands to their deaths. Maybe a request for food gets lost in a stack of paper, and an entire Imperial warp ship is left to starve in the void, as its crew is slowly driven to cannibalism and insanity. Or maybe a request for ammunition gets signed incorrectly, and an entire war front will have to watch in horror as the new crates of ammunition contain the wrong caliber. I love how Alec Worley has taken these typical 40k scenarios that are usually used for comedic effect, and instead uses them to terrifying effect as horror tools. It's also not just the writing that's excellent. A big shout out should also be given to the people who turned this script into a superb listening experience. The voice actors did a great job, and Diva Mir in particularly deserves some praise for her stellar performance in this audio drama. But also the effects department brought their A-game. From servo skulls to las guns, and from making you feel as if you're in a spaceship, from making you feel as if you're underwater. The effects were great, and in combination with the music resulted in a very immersive experience. So altogether, I can't recommend this masterpiece enough. If you're a fan of 40k, you have to listen to this. It's expertly written, masterfully performed, and the implications it has for the Imperium as a whole are mind-blowing. 5 out of 5 missing ammunition crates for sure. So if you want to give it a listen, I have linked it down below, and you can even listen to it for free if you use an Audible trial. But anyways, that's what I got for you today. Have a nice evening, and don't forget your nightly prayers to the Watcher in the Rain.